Hello, everybody. My name is Ken Raggio, and I am here with you tonight for another Prophecy News Break on May the 1st of the year 2021. Thank you for joining me. My subject tonight is dealing with censorship. Dealing with censorship. Can you believe we're living in the age of hardcore censorship? I mean, I grew up hearing about Pravda newspaper in Moscow being a propaganda piece. And I thought, what a horrible world it would be to live in, where everybody's information was so tightly controlled that the only thing they could hear was what the state allowed them to hear. And now we're living in a world where there are many state-owned media operations. And now I think it's expanded to where it's not merely state-owned and operated outlets, but it is literally globalist owned and operated outlets. And we see that big tech is under the influence of the globalists. I had a brief discussion with somebody today about how Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, they're all globalist patsies. They are in the pockets of the globalists. And I think if you understand the nature of globalism, these people are always on the lookout for people that are sympathetic to their cause. And if you do things that the globalists like, you're going to succeed, because they're going to see to it. And I may be crazy for saying this, but I think when they saw Walmart way back in the day, that money came flowing into the Walmart stock like crazy, because this big box chain store concept works perfectly into the globalist scheme of things. So that I mean, if you can see the example of how it was Walmart that ultimately brought us the barcode that we saw, that everybody saw 30-40 years ago, and we thought, wow, 666, it's on all the products. You remember those stripes? They're still there. But it wasn't the government that mandated those barcodes. It wasn't the globalists that mandated it. It was Walmart. Walmart said to their vendors way back in the day, we like this concept of these barcodes, and we want all of our vendors to use this. And if you don't use the barcode, then we're not going to do business with you. And so that takes me to what Joe Biden said recently. We're not going to mandate, the government is not going to mandate the vaccines. But the government doesn't need to mandate the vaccines. If big business and big tech mandates the vaccine, then it becomes a moot point, because the government doesn't have to intervene. If you get to the point where Walmart won't let you in the door without a vaccine, or some restaurant won't let you in without a mask, then you don't have to have the government to mandate that thing. And so censorship, controls, authoritarianism. And if you understand anything about Joe Biden's address to Congress here in the last few days, there was a subtle, maybe I should say not so subtle message that democracy is antiquated and that we need more authoritarianism. He didn't say it in direct terms like that, but if you read between the lines, you realize what he's saying is we're dealing with autocrats. We're dealing with autocrats in Russia, autocrats in China, and all over the world, and they can move on a whim to enact their policies. And whereas we as a Democrat nation, Republican nation, we have to enact things through our Congress. We have to have representatives, because we believe in government by the people, for the people. And it takes time to conduct business like that. And so Biden and his patsies, his cohorts, his globalist sponsors, they're trying to sell us a bill of goods. They're trying to tell us that America needs authoritarianism. Well, America does not need authoritarianism. But you know what? It doesn't matter what you and I think anymore, because they're going to shove it down our throats, what they want us to believe, and they're going to stop us from saying anything that contradicts that to the best of our ability. Now, I started on the internet 25 years ago, 1996. I had a major website from the get-go. I had hundreds of articles. And back in the days, even before Google, Yahoo was the primary search engine. And there was a time when my website showed up on just about all the Christian terms. You could search just about any Bible term back in those days, and KenRaggio.com would show up in the top 10 search results, because I had one of the first websites that had so much content on it. And I've been here on the internet for 25 years. There's hardly a day has passed in 25 years that I haven't posted some kind of fresh content on my website, or now late in the last several years on YouTube or all the video platforms. And so I've been a major publisher on the internet for a quarter of a century. And it's only been in the last 4 or 5 years that I began to see a great deal of censorship. And it began with, one of the first examples was how that on Facebook, I have posted for many years. I've been posting Bible lessons, daily Bible lessons, many lessons, 100-word blurbs that takes a verse and expounds on a particular topic in that verse. And I've done that. I've got almost 5,000 of those in circulation, those lessons. And they go through a rotation. And some of those Bible lessons don't meet the standards of Facebook's community standards. I've had Bible lessons deleted from my Facebook timeline because, and you can probably guess some of the subjects. Facebook doesn't like biblical morality. Facebook doesn't like biblical sexuality. Facebook doesn't like a whole lot of things that the Bible likes. And so if you say those things, it doesn't make any difference that you're quoting scriptures. When you say it, you get deleted. And I've been in Facebook jail. I've had myself locked out of my Facebook account several times. And I've had some conflicts and some threats and some strikes against me on YouTube by the very same token. And I've had a video removed because of some content they didn't like. And lately, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And you and I have seen we're having this whole COVID stuff just crammed down our throat. I don't mean crammed, I mean crammed down our throats. Force fed. We are being force fed this the CDC guidelines. We're getting them every 30 seconds. I mean, every time you open up, you're going to have another. And they're begging you to put all their claims officially on your website. And probably just this video alone, just talking the way I'm talking, is probably may get me flagged or maybe get me deleted. And I do know, I have almost no doubt whatever that I will be eventually banned from Facebook. And just this past week, I did a video on cryptocurrencies and the mark of the beast. And I knew that the content I had inside that video was not going to meet with Facebook's fact checkers, phooey on the fact checkers. So I didn't publish that video on Facebook. I didn't publish it. But I said on Facebook, if you'd like to see that video, send me a message and I'll send that link to you. Well, I got probably over 1,000 requests for that link. And after I'd published it, I spent probably 8 solid hours just posting that link, or trying to post the link. But I ran into a problem because about halfway through that list, Facebook banned me from posting that link. And I had posted it not on YouTube. I posted this video not on YouTube, but I posted it on BitChute, which is a free speech platform, allegedly. And I also posted on Rumble. And I would have posted on Vimeo, but I've already been banned from Vimeo. I had 142 videos on Vimeo, and several hundred people had already subscribed to that new platform when Vimeo said they didn't like me talking about the vaccine. And so they cut me off without any recourse. And I said, well, I'm not going to try again. I'm not going to try to go back in there and ameliorate that situation. If they'll do it to me once, they'll do it to me twice. So I'm gone forever from Vimeo. I have no intention of ever going back to Vimeo. But who knows? I mean, I could get blocked off of anything. We saw this big scandal in the last, around election time, of how Parler was suddenly cut off from Amazon's web hosting services. And an entire major social media platform with many millions of followers, subscribers, was immediately put out of business. And Dan Bongino was the owner of that operation, and they went to court. They had every kind of nightmare, and Parler is now technically back. But the problem is these alternate platforms, the numbers are only a fraction. The numbers of people involved in these alternate platforms. And I've moved to Parler and MeWe and Gab and Cloud Hub and Vimeo and BitChute and Rumble. And I'm having trouble all along the way because the ones that will allow you to speak freely have such a limited number of people there. And even a lot of my followers, I've had I don't remember now. I think I had 12 or 1,500 people that had already followed me over to Parler whenever that got cut off. But out of 25,000 people that follow me on Facebook, that's only a tiny fraction. And then only a tinier number of that went to MeWe, and on a smaller number that went to some of these other platforms. And so while we can say, yes, we do have alternatives, those alternatives are not as promising as what we've had in Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, for the simple fact that there's an enormous number of people, many billions of people, to which we have access, and we don't have access to those numbers on these other platforms. And not only that, but even some of the best meaning people, they simply don't check their Parler accounts. They don't visit their MeWe accounts like they do Facebook. The people that are on Facebook are there just about all day, every day. And the people on these other accounts are not all there all day. And so that brings me to my subject tonight, dealing with censorship. I have to come up with some solution to deal with this censorship, or else I will be ultimately silenced. And I can't allow this to happen. And so here's a couple of two or three of the ideas that I have considered. I'm looking at alternate video platforms. I've been in touch with one service that will allow me to upload my videos and publish it on my website at kenraggio.com. They provide the coding for me to put both the video and the players. So the video players would actually be on my own website. Now, the problem with that is the bandwidth on my website is going to go through the roof, and very likely I'm going to end up charged an arm and a leg financially to support a video platform on my website. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but at this point, I'm only looking at the options and trying to decide what really can be done, because somehow or the other, I've got to have a video platform where I can preach and teach and say the things that I really want to say, and that I believe with all my heart need to be said. And I want to be able to do that without any big tech censors or fact checkers getting in my way. And I think probably most of you would agree with that. You want to hear a preacher preach what he believes he's supposed to preach, and not to be afraid of censorship or fact checking. And so that's what I'm working on. Now, so in a nutshell, I'm saying I'm trying to find a way to do an end run around Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And I've been trying for best part of last year, trying to build up these other alternate platforms, and they simply are not producing the kind of results that I feel like we need to have to maintain a significant ministry. I'm trying to preach the gospel. I'm trying to explain Bible prophecies. I'm trying to prepare people for the last days. And I don't want to lose the audience. I've got close to 100,000 people follow me all over the world on various platforms. And if Facebook goes down, I'm losing a very large, significant portion of that. If I lose my YouTube account, I'm losing a very large portion of that. And I don't want to do that. And so right now is the time when I have to do that. And here's two other alternatives that I'm considering. And I want you to know this so that once I get to that point, you'll be ready to jump on board with me. One is to build an alternative mailing list. Now, some of you already follow me on my daily Bible study email list. I've got many, many thousands of people that follow me on my daily Bible study. And that's a series. It's a series of over 1,600 emails that goes from Genesis to Revelation. And once a week, there's a sermon of the week. If you go to kenraggio.com, you'll see a form there where you can put your name and email address in there, and I'll send you one email a day. And once a week, I'm going to send you the sermon of the week. And so that goes on for about 1,600 and something lessons. So that one series runs for about 3.5 years. And then if somebody requests that I start them over, then you can have it indefinitely. All you can do is send me an email, say, please restart my daily Bible lessons, and I'll do that. But that list is a separate list. And I'm talking about building a new list. And so I may be building a landing page for you to come over and sign up for an entirely new emailing list so that I can send you links to my new videos and don't have to go through Facebook or anybody else. And if I want to post it on Rumble, or if I want to post it on BitChute, or if I find another video platform, I'll be able to contact you no matter where I am and give you the links through an email. And that to me is a watertight avenue or watertight outlet for me to get to you, so that I can notify you every time a new video or a new article comes out. And that would be a foolproof way, I think. And the reality is, the artificial intelligence at Google is already reading Gmails. If you're on Gmail, you're being read by the artificial intelligence. You're being screened. You're being snooped on, and probably the same thing at Yahoo Mail. And I can tell you, there's one potential fix to that, and I can't even promise you that's foolproof. But Proton Mail is an encrypted email service. I heard that it's based in Serbia, and I have some questions about what really might be behind it. But I have now started using Proton Mail myself, because every email that I send through Proton Mail has been encrypted, and people can't see what I've written in that except the intended recipient. I don't want anybody but the intended recipient reading those emails. I don't want people snooping on my emails, and I don't think you do either. So I'm trying to look for a place where I can build an entirely new mailing list where we can pass emails back and forth without being censored and without being snooped on, without being monitored by artificial intelligence. And so in the near future, hopefully in the near future, and I could very easily right now set up a second email list, because I'm already subscribed to that service. I pay every month for that service to send out the Bible studies. And I've been doing that for many, many years. And I don't make any charge to anybody for that. People don't know when they donate to this ministry, what a big overhead. There really is a big overhead. You can't imagine. You say, well, Facebook is free and YouTube's free. Yeah, but a lot of what I do here, this studio didn't come free, and all the time and effort and energy that I put in this, and all the internet-based services that I subscribe to run up in the hundreds of dollars a month, just the internet services. And I pay all that out of pocket. So if you send me an offering, you're not making me rich, I can tell you that, but I thank you for what you do to support me. And I appreciate that very much. And I pray God will bless you for that. But I'm just telling you, these internet services that I pay for is what provides you the ministry that I have provided here for many years now. And I've paid those bills for years and years and years without asking anybody to pay them for me. And we'll continue to do that as God provides. So the reason I don't just easily set up another email list right now is because number one reason is, listen carefully. A lot of people don't read their emails. A lot of people don't check their emails regularly. In fact, I have several email addresses. The oldest one of it, I probably get close to 1,000 emails a day on that one email account, which is impossible for me to respond to all those emails. And then I've got other accounts that have lesser number. And I know how people are. You just get to a point where you become disinterested in emails, or you don't check them closely. A lot of times emails get deleted. Sometimes they get sent into spam folders and people never know they got them. And so email is not a perfect communication tool. In my view, it's not a perfect communication tool, although it is still without a doubt up at the top of the list. And so I probably will offer you the opportunity here in the future to join another list, the KEN RAGGIO mailing list, so that you will be able to receive my content, both my videos and my articles, as they're posted in the future. And I hope when I do that, you'll be ready to sign up for that. And then the next option is texting. And I've been talking with some companies this week who provide a service of bulk texting. Now, I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling when I say this, but I don't want to have to answer 1,000 texts a day. So I don't want my phone number out in the public. And if that hurts your feeling, I just apologize to you, but hopefully you'll understand. I don't want thousands and thousands of people all over the world calling me on the telephone. I think anybody should understand that. And the same thing with texting. You don't want that either. You don't want people. But here's the deal. If I can get this all set up right, I'm hoping to build a new network service as it is. I hope to be moving away from my utter dependency on Facebook and YouTube to get the gospel message out, and hopefully get into a situation where I will be able to reach you either by text or by email. And you will be able to see my content on another platform that is not capable of being censored. Now, if I can pull that off, that will be a major accomplishment. And I'm talking about dealing with censorship. If I'm going to keep preaching the stuff that I believe I should preach and saying the things that I think need to be said, I've got to find a way to get that message to you without Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all these other people blocking my content and keeping me from publishing it. I don't want to live under that guillotine every minute of the day, that in a second I could lose 25,000 or more followers on Facebook. They could just take me off, and all 25,000 people will be forever lost. I don't want to do that. And so that forces me to try to be careful how I say things so that I won't get deleted. But I really, really, really want to get over to a different means of communication where I can tell you everything I want to tell you. And some of you want that and some of you don't. But anyway, so what does it bring me to? All I'm saying is right now, and guys, I'm just one guy. I don't have a secretary. I don't have a commercial building. I work out of my home. This is my own studio right here. I got a very small office. I don't have paid help. Everything that you see, all my books, all my content, all my videos, I do it all myself. And I've got to do what I can to preserve this ministry so that as the censors get worse, how many, raise your hand if you think the censorship is going to get worse? You know as well as I do, the censorship is going to get unbearable sooner than later. And now's the time when I have to act. So if it may be that I can't make as many videos in the next couple of weeks, I don't know, because I've got to focus my attention and my time on dealing with censorship and prepare an entirely new platform. And so I ask you to bear with me. I ask you to pray for me. I told somebody this evening, I don't know ever in my life when I felt more faith for the impossible in the name of Jesus than I do right now. I've seen several impressive miracles in my own life and in the lives of some people I'm personally connected to. Just in the last few weeks, I've seen God do several impressive miracles. And I think it's because my level of faith has lately, just by the grace of God, has soared. And the Bible does say that faith is a gift of God. I thank God for faith. And you should have faith, and you should have an expectation for miracles. And I'm praying and I'm believing that God is going to help me in every area, including this area that I've been talking to you about, and that is dealing with censorship. And if you pray that God will provide a new platform, and I've got a good friend in the ministry who is really a high-tech guy that has been giving me some good counsel on this, and it may be that he and I are going to be able to collaborate on a project that will bring this into an entirely new level. You pray that God will give me wisdom and knowledge and understanding about how to get this done. Meanwhile, if you will, just do all you can to help me share my videos, help me share my posts, and keep this ministry going. And I thank you for that. And that's all I want to say to you, and I'm going to get back with you later. God bless you. Good night. See you next time.